ending 1 minute at a time.
Okay, so I'm kind of late on the game on this one because I had a big hiatus. Had a bad weekend last weekend and did not put out anything. But I honestly just kind of thought of doing this, so it really is kind of irrelevant. Yep. Oh my gosh, folks, I finally found it. So Tucker talks about the bomb that we dropped on Japan. Bombs we dropped on Japan. I didn't record it. I thought I could find it quickly on going over the podcast. And I couldn't. I finally found a clip on Twitter.
Well, you could say the same about the atomic bomb, right?
Yes, you could.
And you could say that we have to develop it like Oppenheimer felt before the Nazis did.
I love that. How'd that work? How'd that work?
Well,
I love, by the way, that people on my side, I'll just admit it, on the right, have spent the last 80 years defending dropping nuclear weapons on civilians. Like, are you joking?
Right.
That's just like prima facie evil.
Yeah.
If you can't, if we hadn't done that, then this, that, the other thing, that was actually a great savings. Like, no, it's wrong to drop nuclear weapons on people. And if you find yourself arguing that it's a good thing to drop nuclear weapons on people, then you are evil. Like, it's not a tough one, right? It's not a hard call for you. It's not a hard call for me. So with that in mind, like, why would you want nuclear weapons? It's like just a mindless, childish sort of intellectual exercise to justify, like, oh no, it's really good because someone else will get it. How about no? How about like spending all of your effort to prevent this from happening?
There it is. Oh my goodness, I searched forever for that. And okay, so this is like a 26-minute long video. We're not sitting here for 26 minutes. I'm gonna just get a gist maybe of what Crowder says, and then Ben Shapiro has some shit to say too. And we'll listen to that, and I'll tell you what the truth is.
You're an idiot for saying that. I don't need to know anything else you need to say about nukes and World War II. If you say the United States shouldn't have them, that's naive. You're now in the climate catastrophe group that says everybody else should basically up in their economy, spend trillions of dollars, and kill people for doing it. But China's never going to do anything, and so it's the climate change thing. You're in that group now.
That's not what he said.
On the right?
That's not what he said. I think he started out agreeing that, the reasoning was valid. If the reasoning was valid then, it's still valid, but we should work towards not having them, is his point.
Have spent the last 80 years defending dropping nuclear weapons on civilians. Like, are you joking?
Right.
That's just like prima facie evil.
Yeah.
If you can't, if we hadn't done that, then this, that, the other thing, that was actually a great savings. Like, no, it's wrong to drop nuclear weapons on people. And if you find yourself arguing that it's a good thing to drop nuclear weapons on people, then you are evil. Like, it's not a tough one, right? It's not a hard call for you. It's not a hard call for me.
So no one's saying it's good to drop nuclear weapons on anyone. And that's the straw man that he presents here. And this is...
Okay. So I was wildly wrong on where I kind of assumed how many people died. I assumed it was in the millions. And between 129,000 and 226,000. Kind of a big gap there. And I don't know if they're including like, okay, well, this person died a little early because they had radiation poisoning. I don't know what they're, but the people on the left, it doesn't change my point of view. And the argument is always, let's let Tucker, okay, so I'm going to let Crowder talk for a minute. I know I've heard him say this before. I know what he's going to say.
So no one's saying it's good to drop nuclear weapons on anyone. And that's the straw man that he presents here. And this is kind of the age of it's really very X-friendly, right? To just throw that out. And, rah, 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 rah. Pom-poms. Okay. No one's saying that it's good to drop nuclear weapons. But he's wrong. He's wrong in that if you estimate the amount of lives lost, it would have been about 5 on the low end to 10 million Japanese people, 400,000 to 800,000 Americans, as far as the people who were killed by these bombs, about 200,000. So there is no argument that can be made, and we'll go through all of the sub-arguments. But even those sub-arguments that you'll hear, like the Japanese were going to surrender anyway. No, it was going to end the world.
The Germans had given up. So everyone else that were fighting the Germans could then redirect their attention to defeating Japan. So that significantly improved our competitive advantage in winning the war. That's number one. Now that very well would have been very, very bloody. And a lot of people would have died. So, but why is that? Like, if it's fighting age men who are dying, isn't it better than dropping it on a city of people who aren't? I really wish you'd run through these a little bit quicker so I could combat them, honestly, but whatever. And
there's a weird horseshoe theory thing that's happening here. We've talked about it before on the program, that you have this constellation of far leftists who are rather friendly toward Hamas, who generally are isolationist on foreign policy, but they're isolationist on foreign policy mainly because they believe that the United States is a nefarious force in the world. They're sort of Howard Zinn or Noam Chomsky with regard to American foreign policy. America is actually bad. That horseshoe theory has now swung all the way around, and it includes some people on the right. Now, as we'll talk about in a moment, when it comes to isolationism, as we've discussed, there are a bunch of different perspectives within the isolationist perspective. There is the we should not get involved in foreign conflicts no matter what perspective because we need the money here at home, which means that you're also in favor of cutting spending by the government on a wide variety of other subjects. There's also an isolationism that suggests that whenever America gets involved in foreign conflicts, that tends to taint the United States, not it's about the United States tainting the rest of the world. But there is a theory that has now arisen on the right that there is something deeply malign about the United States, something deeply wrong with the United States. This was made apparent over the weekend. Tucker Carlson was on Joe Rogan's show. Obviously, I'm very friendly with Joe. I think Joe does a great job during his interviews. And there was a clip from this interview that went particularly viral. This is a clip in which Tucker Carlson calls the United States evil for having dropped the atomic bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki in 1945, ending World War II, and then suggests that anyone who would justify that is also evil, which is a very traditionally left-wing perspective.
No, Ben, you're wrong. You're completely wrong. Because evil is a concept of those who believe in God, and the left doesn't. Okay, I'm going to end this discussion right here.
The dawn of the nuclear age began 78 years ago with the flash of a man-made sun rising over the New Mexico desert. It was perhaps the most consequential and dangerous scientific experiment of all time, and the man who led it was Robert Oppenheimer.
If it was needed to put an end to the war and had a chance of so doing, we thought that was the...
So here's the end of the conversation. So here's the end of the debate. We just watched the testing of the atomic bomb in the New Mexico desert. Switzerland has long been known as a neutral country. Did we try sending that damn movie over there and calling Japan and saying, hey, we got something you need to see? And then, if they don't stop, what if you drop one in the ocean where they can see it? And they're going to get probably hit with a tsunami, probably take out some people as well. Okay, so we've moved it along. Okay, we show them the video. They haven't stopped. Okay, fine. We'll get a little bit closer. We'll drop it on your horizon. It's going to cause probably some people to die. They still don't stop. They still don't stop fighting. Okay? Okay, one city. One city. You don't think they're going to stop fighting? I know the left likes to say, if it saves one life, but in this case, it would have saved a lot more than one life. Crowder, I'm long suspected of him being a prick. I've known how he felt about this anyway, but I mean, and Shapiro, I mean, I have respect for them all in a way, but like, they're wrong on this. They're wrong. That second bomb definitely didn't need to go off. And I think we could have gotten around the first one too. So that's what I think. I'd love to hear what you guys think. Actually, I'm not going to. I don't read the comments. Sorry. I've been, Joe Rogan has suggested, said time after time, don't read the comments. You'll be disparaged. So I'm not. But please talk about it. Comment. Call me an idiot. Call me a genius. Call me Gandhi. I don't know. But I just don't like people dying. Not a good thing. And that's why I do not trust Japan. Because of what we did. It's true. So that's all I got. Please, attack me, love me, share me, like the video, follow, subscribe, do all the things. I'm still just on YouTube and Rumble. I really want to. I got to figure out how to turn what I create back into an MP3, so then I could upload it to Spotify and iTunes and shit like that. But I don't know. So going out again. Lake and Riley, keep her in your thoughts, and all the people like her that have been victimized, have been killed, murdered, their lives taken, because our government doesn't care about us. None of them. Republicans or Democrats, they don't give a shit. They do not care. So, have a good one, folks. See you next time.
This is your life, and it's ending 1 minute at a time.
This war stops now.
End the war. Bring freedom to our people.
No. No more tricks. No more lies. Only truth.
This is where we hold them! This is where we fight!